There, everyone. It's Gloria with Glory Be Resale, and I'm here to do a What Sold video from January 26th to February 1st, 2026. And the first thing to sell on eBay was this Yagisi blouse. And this I have had forever, probably because it's such a horrible picture and it was much cuter in person. Anyway, somebody had sent me an offer of $13 for this blouse, and I accepted it. The cost to me on it was $4.99. So not much of a profit there, but happy to get rid of it. I have had this since Boston, maybe 3 years now. The next item to sell was this Abilene Orange 100% cashmere. This sold for $16.15. Um, Not very much. This did have damage. It had a little hole under the arm that needed to be repaired. I did not want to be bothered with it, so I sold it $16.15. Cost to me was $6.49. Next item to sell was this Stranesque Gabrielle Strel wool cashmere jacket. And this one I thought would do better, but it was an overseas um designer jacket, and it didn't do as well as I thought it would. So um this sold for $29.75, and the cost to me on it was $11.20. So that was not a good profit for what I had into that. But happy to get my money back and make a little bit of profit. The person who got it loved it, so moving on from that one. I'm just really trying to get rid of clothes anyway, so that was all right. This one was a vintage Nana collection blue jacket, and this sold for $28. The cost to me on it was $6.49. I'm sorry, no, it was half price. It was $3.25. Next item to sell was this Zara boho olive green velvet jacket. I picked up this the last time I was in Boston, I think Thanksgiving. And I picked this up for $7.99, and it sold for $109.65. So this one was a good profit. And the person who got it was very happy with it. So next item to sell was this um, medieval. This was handmade by somebody. I picked up a few of these. I think 3 or 4 of them at a Goodwill. I've had them for a couple years now. I bought them for uh, I believe $3.99 each. So this sold for $35. Cost me $3.99. It's kind of cool, and it had the little rope nails. Next item to sell was this Chrysler Crossfire satchel. This sold for $40, and this sold pretty quickly after I listed it. I think within a week, if even that. It might have been a couple of days. And this sat around in my garage for a while because I bought it at a yard sale. But anyway, I bought it for $5, sold it for 40 pretty quickly. Now over to Poshmark. The first thing to sell was this vintage mid-century dot wall shelves, and these took forever to sell. I've had these for years. They were in a bag, and usually things like this sell pretty quickly for me, but they're usually gold. And, I probably would have been better off to just spray paint them gold. They probably would have sold a lot quicker, but I had listed them and threw them in a bag and forgot about them. So anyway, they sold for $25. Cost to me was $5.98, and they took forever. So if I were to ever find something like this again, I would spray paint them gold rather than the white. Next item to sell was this Lafayette 148 metallic shimmer dress, and this sold for $35, and the cost to me on it was $6.99. The next item to sell was this Nutcracker winter cabin granny core sweater, and this sold for $32. Cost to me was $6.49. Now over to Mercari. And if you wouldn't mind, if you could give me a like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Just a little uh, encouragement to be making these videos. I'd really appreciate the support. And next thing over on Mercari was this Tadashi black beaded front mesh uh, shirt, and this sold for $21, and the cost to me on it was $3.25. Next item to sell was this pair of these, for whatever reason, didn't show up. It's this pair of black leather gloves. These sold for $22, and the cost to me on them was $2. The next item to sell was this bamboo spice rack. This sold for $29. Cost to me on it was $1. Next item to sell was this pair of light switch covers from mid-century modern. And these were a pretty heavy metal. They're a nice set of switch covers, and these sold for $39 pretty quickly after I sold them. I mean, I listed them, and the cost to me on them was $1.98. The next item to sell was this vintage 5-arm wood metal candelabra, and this sold for $35, and the cost to me on it was $5. The next item to sell was this vintage Carhartt canvas hooded jacket, and this sold for $129. Cost to me on it was $5. The next item to sell was this milk can, and it was a liquid 4-quart milk can, and this sold for $55, and the cost to me on it was $17.50. The next thing to sell was this vintage 90s curio display shelf, and this sold for $45. The cost to me on it was $3. And the last thing that sold over on Etsy was this vintage primitive brick mold, number 503, and this sold for $28. And the cost to me on it was $5. That was everything that I sold from January 26th to February 1st. I hope that you're doing well with your sales, and again, anytime you wanna share one, we'd love to share it with everybody. And I will see you again very shortly because I need to catch up with my videos. So I will be putting this one out, and then the next one should come out within a day or two of this one. I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.